This is the North End. This is the North End.
Well, hello, North End football lovers. How are we all? Are you well? Because I'm well. It's great to see you all. It's been a while, and I'm back, and I'm making a hash of this introduction, so don't worry, it can only get better. Although I am joined by my really good friend and our new sponsor, Milk. Yes, we're really not doing great on the sponsorship, so we're just going to go back with the age-old calcium-based protein with a little bit of chocolate, so that's great. However, I am also joined by the one, the only, JP California. JP, how are you?
I'm good. I was watching the record time, and it like started on the 1 second, like halfway through your intro. So I really hope we didn't just completely bomb the beginning of this and it starts properly.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I like that.
let's just go for it. I'm really interested to ask you what's over your left shoulder in a glass. There's like used tea bags, maybe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, used tea bags. Yeah, it's Dude, things are getting difficult. I left my job. it's getting.
I'm just glad you finally found home base again. You have a place. You're back at it. You're not jumping around in Madagascar or freaking Colombia or wherever it is you're at this given week. But you're
I don't have a
actually
home
like,
base. I'm only here for a couple of weeks. Like I've got to find a place to live. I've had two things I thought we were going through that I haven't. So yeah, if anyone is watching this pod based around Toronto has a room that's available for rent, please do get in touch. April 1st would be lovely.
you know what? Facebook Marketplace is one hell of a thing, man.
It is, but it's a bit of a dump show out here, mate. Like everyone's going for it. But you know what's crazy to me, JP, is how just incredibly professional this podcast is. It gets cleaner and just more efficient every time.
We have to be like one of the top 5 podcasts in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fuck Schultz. Fuck all those guys.
Joe Rogan, suck it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to say that to his face because he'll beat the living.
No, I wouldn't either.
Out of
I'm
us.
not that big of a guy.
No, exactly. Well, listen, JP, we're going to get into it. JP and I are obviously doing this because we're just feeling great. We're feeling great. We're Aston Villa fans. We're flying high. JP, tell us everything.
I was just telling you that I was looking back at the last few performances. We got 4 wins out of 6. We're beating all the teams near the bottom end of the table right now, which is what Villa fans probably expected. But that hasn't been the story of years gone by. There's been plenty of years where we were at like, we're playing a bottom level team. We're playing the worst team in the league, and we would lose.
Yeah, we would.
We would lose the odd game against those bottom teams, and we're not doing that anymore. And man, we tried to lose this game against Luton. Hats off to Luton, man. They know who they are. They're at it. They make it hard. They make it difficult. And I really do hope they stay up because they're fun to like have in the league. Like everybody seems to struggle with them. We didn't struggle the first time at all. But this game, they made us play for it. I thought we were not going to get the win. I thought it was going to be a Man U game all over again.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I thought it was going the same way as well. So I'm glad that we got it over the line. Obviously, we made it difficult last week as well, giving ourselves a bit of a scare. But I think it's good. As you said, we're digging deep and getting those performances and correct. Fair play to Luton. They looked good, but thankfully Villa found something, so a bit of quality and a bit of class. And, a massive shout out to Luca Dini with a great goal because, he steps up when we need him to step up. He has that professionalism. We forget that he's a French international, and you can understand why he's such a valuable asset to have. And whether Marino starts or whether he starts, it's just we need those players in the squad for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, we have to consider I don't believe he started a game he hasn't started a game since early December when he went off injured. So for him, getting some minutes again is good. Coming in last week and getting more minutes is awesome. But chipping in with a goal for the win, like what a great way to like get back into the fold. Hopefully he can stay fit and raring to go, because last thing we need is any more injuries. But I mean, huge shout out to him, and huge shout out to our boy Oliver Watkins. Man, what a boy.
Ollie, what a guy. What a guy. You know what? Before we get into Ollie and all that great stuff, I'm going to start with the player that
sponsorship to milk.
Be. No, I've hammered that milk. You know, big shout out to milk. Orderly the best. No, we're going to be talking about our Caribbean influence, our Jamaican, spice. That is the man himself, the brilliant Leon Bailey.
What a guy, confident right now.
What a guy. Now, JP, I'm going to give you just one stat, right? I know you've got the stats on a lot of these things, and I love you for that. But let's just take ourselves back down memory lane a little bit to September 2023. Villa are playing Liverpool. Leon Bailey is subbed on, and 20-something minutes later, Leon Bailey is subbed off. Yeah. Now, you think for a professional footballer, unless there is an injury concern, like unless a serious injury, or they're gone, like they come on, they get injured, they have to leave. Is there anything worse? Is there a worse feeling than getting brought on as a substitute, being seen to be doing such a bad job that you are then substituted again? Like,
definitely not.
The confidence level was at an all-time low, and he's had ups and downs in his career, but right now Leon Bailey is statistically the best performing player in the Premier League, right? Which is crazy. In the last 7 to 8 weeks, right? His average goal percentage per 90 minutes, not including penalties, his successful dribble rate, he is dominating across the board, and I have not seen a player with more confidence in a Villa shirt in a very long time. He really looks like he's found his joy, and he really looks like he's playing football like he wants to play. JP, what do you make of Leon right now?
I mean, I think him and Unai Emery are just really on the same page. I think they know what each other's deal is. It took them a little bit because it was a little rocky at the beginning, but it's like, not only is he playing well and he's tracking back and he's working, like it's not just offense, it's defense too, but he is like in sync with everybody too. Like he's on the same wavelength, because previously, and when you get a new player in, a lot of times you don't see that wavelength. It looks off, and it does not look off for him. I'm very happy for him, because I gave him just oodles of abuse about how he was never going to make it at Villa, and I got to eat my words, and he's making me eat my words. I mean, he has 8 goals and 8 assists. He is just tearing it up, and he's been doing brilliantly. Even when he doesn't score, he still creates opportunities, whether he's assisting or being the guy that breaks the first man to make the movements happen, right? Yeah. Which is just so key. He reminds me of in form, quintessential classic Ashley Young.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just a bit more. So from a statistical perspective, right, and I just double checked the data of this. So this is an Opta analytic piece from Jonathan Manuel. I've read a couple of his pieces. He really, really kind of clutches that data. This was written yesterday. Okay, so this year, minimum 500 minutes played, Leon Bailey has the most goals per 90 minutes than any player in the league. Okay. 1.07. Now, more importantly, and which this is, if you really want to see just how good he's playing right now, he's one of only 3 players to record at least a 0.3 or more metric for expected goals and assists per 90 minute. So Bukayo Saka is 0.34 and 0.36 for Bailey, and then you have Mo Salah on. Sorry. Saka's 0.34 and 0.36 for assists, and Salah is 0.5 and then 0.3 for assists. And Bailey is coming in at a 0.68 average. So we're not talking about just, it's a one-off here. Mohamed Salah is pound for pound one of the best midfielders in the Premier League.
One of the best right wingers the EPL has ever had.
Maybe, maybe
he's
ever. He's up there with the greats. And Bukayo Saka, although I still have my one or two reservations, you can't deny how essential he's been to this Arsenal push. You know, obviously Declan Rice and stuff like that, but without him, they are a substantially worse team. So to have
100%.
his name mentioned in that, like, what does that mean for us? Because it's obviously with him doing well, there is a small negative, and I wonder if you notice this. The last couple of games, when we've seen Diaby come on, I don't know if you've looked at Diaby, but for me, he looks like a player that is completely awash with no confidence. He looks like Bailey did in September 2023.
Yes. I definitely think in some of the games recently, Diaby has come on and kind of just looks like a shell of himself. He just he doesn't look lost. He just looks defeated already.
Yes.
Like he's already coming on. He's like, oh, I'm only getting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. There's no way I'm going to make a change, which has not been the case because he got the assist for this weekend and he got one a few weeks ago. But like everyone goes through that, right? Leon Bailey was that like a year ago. So I'm not going to hit on the issues of Diaby because I still believe Diaby will come good. Diaby's lowest point so far is still far higher than Leon Bailey's lowest point was for Villa.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like,
and he did actually to give him to talk to that. He provided the Digne assist, didn't he? It was his ball, and it was a beautiful
it was a beautiful
like,
left-footed
weighted
cross.
perfectly. Yeah,
and God, it's scary to think if he can get on form. So you would play Leon Bailey as the right mid, Moussa Diaby as the withdrawn striker, and Oli Watkins up top. Like, holy shit, that's some pace and power.
Yeah.
That is a scary, fast attacking right side of the field.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is. And I like the more like I'm just casting my eye to this piece again, a great piece. But like just looking at his heat map, just looking at the explosiveness that he has on that side, like it just really is. Yeah, like we're so fortunate to see this version of Leon Bailey.
Yeah.
But I think we gotta admit that this doesn't come from just the player. You know, we're seeing phenomenal management because the manager was the guy who brought him on and then subbed him off. And he's managed to build him back and say, listen, and obviously has the respect with the player because, you know, we had it rough. When Bailey came out, his dad spoke out, said he's not playing enough. That's why he's not playing well. You know, we had to deal with quite public things and he got disciplined for that. So there is obviously a great respect between Bailey and Emery now. And I think Villa are just laughing because it's only going to get better, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bailey is, I mean, I don't know what Bailey's ceiling is. I think he has a little bit more to him. I don't know how much more without some other top players around him. I feel like there's not that he's not on the same wavelength, but if he had some guys around him that are also in as good as form as him, like if John McGinn is on his best form, Tielemans is on his best form, Watkins is on his best form, and Cash is on his best form, the guy supporting behind him, then holy crap, who knows what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
But we only have 11 games left, and hopefully he can continue this form for 2/3 of that. Because if he can, we're going to get the wins that we need to see us in the Champions League.
Yeah, I really, really agree. So yeah, absolutely great signs. Now we're going to move on to one that is a little less great or a lot less great. What we've called a tale of two pieces. And by pieces, we mean, of course, set pieces. JP, what a
great title.
Thank you. I really was proud of that one. Why don't you take this away? Why don't you give us a bit of perspective on what we're talking about here?
This tale of two pieces is the set pieces that Aston Villa seemingly are conceding from. Aston Villa have the highest percentage chance to concede from set pieces. We are higher than Man U. We are higher than Luton. We are higher than Crystal Palace. We are the highest team likely to concede chances from set pieces. That came out after last game. And we conceded from 2 more set pieces this weekend. So that is not something we made. Now, the statistics won't show the corner goal, But the fact is, we won the corner goal. We did not get it out of our 18-yard box. We did not clear our lines. It bumbled around and then gets poked in. And then the free kick is outside the box. It's a great delivery. Like, let's not take anything off of Luton. They worked really hard for their chances and their goals. The back post play where he lobs it over the line, which has a question of itself, is we're playing a high line when we're struggling there. Why are we playing a high line? And then McGinn is against their striker, and McGinn, while he has the ass,
he gets lost.
He's bigger wide in his ass range than he is tall.
Yeah.
So why do we have our 5'7" midfield meatball against their 6'1" big juggernaut of a forward? And not only did it happen once, it happened twice, and we almost paid for it 2 times. And it's just really concerning for Aston Villa fans that we are not learning from these mistakes. We are not cleaning up the set pieces, and yet we're scoring from set pieces. So it's almost like we give up a goal from a set piece, we score one from a set piece. We gave up a goal versus Man U on the return fixture for a corner, and then we scored a sweet free kick against Onana in the first game. You know, it's crazy the amount of set pieces Villa are scoring from. We're still scoring great training ground work set plays, but we are giving up headed opportunities in the box from a corner, headed opportunities in the box from set plays. First chances, we're late to the first play, or we're giving up the second ball when it drops. So, you know, it's hard because we are scoring from it, but we are also conceding from it. So, like,
it is it's an interesting one because, you know, as you said, from the position of doing things with set pieces, you know, our set piece coach is one of the few coaching staff members that have survived the last couple of years. You know, he arrived at Villa from Hearts, I think, in 2021. No, sorry, he wasn't. He was at FC Midtjylland or whatever. But he was originally, obviously, came to prominence at Hearts. But he arrived to Villa in August 2021 with Dean Smith. Then he went under the obviously diabolical time under Gerrard. And despite 2 managers going, and most of the time managers go so to do their
staff.
And yet he survived. So it just shows you how much respect they have for the work that he's doing. But yet on the other end, it's one of the worst I've seen. And I remember thinking how bad we were from corners in the year we got relegated. And sometimes watching our games, and just to give you kind of some data on that, like I have found some statistics on that. It was last updated in February 2016, February 16. So we've had a couple of games since then, which actually Villa have conceded from. So it probably won't have helped us. But as of then, we had conceded 10 goals from set pieces, right? The only teams that have conceded more, right, are Burnley and Nottingham Forest. That means that we've conceded more, as you said, than Sheffield United, than Crystal Palace, then Bournemouth, then Brighton. You know, Brighton are a bit of a mess at the back as well, at time from set pieces, ironically. But it's wild, right? And it's something that now you could make the argument we have lost a lot of players through injury, and a lot of the players we've lost have been pretty influential people. And Tyrone Mings at the start of the season.
Losing Mings is huge. He was our colossus at the back.
Absolutely.
And God, we
even
need
Torres
him back. Torres, he is good in the air.
Konza, we had a couple of weeks on
Konza. He's great in the air, but we still gave up 2 goals this weekend with Konza, and they were set piece plays.
We did. We're still not drilled enough, and I think, you know, you have to, look at the players that are tracking back. And as you said, McGinn, we don't have a huge amount of height in those players going for. You know, the Leon Baileys, they're not known for the tracking. They're also not particularly big. John McGinn's not big. I don't know how big Tillerman's in, but I think he's maybe 5'8", 5'9". He's about
5'9", 5'10". But Morgan Rogers is 6'2", 6'3". He's a big boy.
He is.
And I would like us in the summer when we start looking at players and we're looking at hopefully the next caliber of player. I hope we take in mind that we need guys that are 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", like a Thomas Souček like type guy who's just
that would be a great
dominant guy. I would love Thomas Souček in the midfield.
Do you know what? Souček has a bit of a Moneyball feel, doesn't he? Like you're
He
building a
does,
team based on
and
what you're missing.
he is kind of old, so I could see West Ham looking to cash in on him. And if he understands, like,
Yeah,
he has to win, he's not going to play every game.
no, but a
Damn,
nice rotational that
God,
could
man,
be.
it's either to me him, and I would really. I mean, nobody else likes him in the whole world. Nobody likes this guy, and I think he'd be good with Unai Emery. Scott McTominay.
I do you know, I don't hate that, right? I don't hate that at all. I think Scott McTominay he's one of United's on paper, he's literally one of their best
Yeah,
performing players. So you can say what you like about him, and I know United fans. You see, the problem with United fans is they still are living in this illusion of what they used to do on the pitch, right? When they used to have the Scholes, the Giggs, the Beckhams, any of those, even the
yeah,
Blunkvists, things like that. Like that's not the United they are anymore. They haven't got those creative players. They haven't got the players that have that natural ability. But
yeah.
Scott McTominay is a big lad. He's powerful. He puts a lot into his game,
He's
and
a box to box guy.
he is. He is. And don't forget, he has a great rapport with John McGinn,
Yeah, he
working
does.
hard
That's why I think it'd
to drive
actually work
Scotland.
out.
I think it was. That's actually a very interesting show. We'll have to see what happens. But okay, so yeah, definitely problems for Villa at the back. Now,
How did we
comeback
possibly
champs.
get into talking about Man United? Oh my God,
I know they leak it. They leak into everything. They leak into
I know.
everything. But I think this is worth talking about. The comeback champs. It has been something that we've seen now for a couple of weeks. We've seen it earlier on the season. We've seen it the last 2 weeks. We threw away goal leads. Obviously 3 goals up in our first game. 3-2 then by the start of the second half, like a couple of minutes in. We're all bricking ourselves. And then now again with Luton. 2-0, dominating possession, dominating the game. Stupid first goal. Next thing, stupid goal. And remember, like as you said, we were exposed 2 or 3 times. They had clear opportunities that they poked the wrong side of the goal, or Martinez
Yep.
made again 1 or 2 good saves. So, I think it's definitely worth saying Villa are pulling those results out. And you talked about this.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We want to be a very early start team. We seem to want
Yeah.
to score early, but then we seem to let teams back in. And that to me is terrifying, as every Villa fan would kind of understand, because we used to let teams in constantly.
Yeah.
Like we would be 2-0 up. I think I want to say it was Crystal Palace or QPR under Tim Sherwood. We were 3-0 up and we ended up tying or losing 3-3 or 4-3. It was just terrible,
Yeah.
And when we played United, I think it was at United, we go up 2-0. They come back to win 3-2. That was quintessential old Villa. And it's looked like it could have happened a few times recently.
Yeah.
Just against Nottingham Forest, it kind of gave that feel again like it could have been, but we finished off our chances and got us to where we needed to be. Luton, this game could have been that.
Mhm.
And we pulled it out in the 89th, 90th minute. That stuff's scary to me. But on the flip side, the fact that we are getting the wins, a team scores on us, we don't freak out. We go back to how we're doing. We play again. We work ourselves back into games where we absorb their pressure for 10 minutes, and then we in turn start to implement our will on another team. Is just it's what top teams do. And I can't
It's
believe
the
I'm
difference
saying that.
between no, but you're right. It's the difference, and it's the reason that many teams haven't been able to get over the finishing line in regards to winning the Premier League or making the top four. It's because they don't win those games. 2 weeks ago, Tottenham were breathing down our necks. Now we've got a small bit of United where they were back,
Oh man.
and now look at Højlund gets injured. I will say the first 45 of their game today, they part the bus very well, but City, like the difference in the Manchester teams. But just before I kind of go on another,
We can't talk about them, dude. We got to move. Like
we can't.
Paul and
But
David will literally ream us.
they will. But to this point, a fun little throwback for you. So I started university 2007. Met there. I was a couple of months before I got accommodation, and then I think it was my first night out, and it was a midweek game. I think it was a Tuesday night game. Villa were playing Tottenham, right? And it was 2007, I think early October. and I'll never forget the game. So Tottenham went 1-0 up through Berbatov. The next 2 goals came via Villa. Martin Lawson, 22nd minute, 33rd minute. And then a hat trick or a third goal came from Gabriel and Bombahor in the 40th minute. A 4th goal in the 59th. So after 59 minutes, so this is, this is no like 10 minutes of extra time back then. It was 3 minutes, 4 minutes, right? So we're almost 60 minutes into this game and we're 4-1 up. We're flying. The game then goes like this. Pascal Chimbonda, 69th minute, 4-2. Robbie Keane, 82nd minute penalty, 4-3. Yunus Kabul, 92nd minute, 4-4. So to talk about when we've thrown things away, it was one of our first nights out. Now, thankfully, and a big shout out to Weatherspoons at the time, they were doing a £5 bottle of wines on a Tuesday night. And at that time, I think the pound was 2-1 with the US dollar. So that was about about 9 or 10. Yeah, about 9, about 9 or 10. It was the other way. We've always had
my bad.
the stronger currency. So $9 or $10 for a whole bottle of wine in a pub, right?
Yeah.
And I do remember that we may have got a bottle each and a straw. So my memories after that weren't great, but I know the feeling, and it is great. And I have to say, it's refreshing to feel we can get through a game.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. There's like faith now. There's belief. There's faith. It's taken us a long time. And, you know, like there's games against United where we threw it away, and there's been games where we've thrown away leads in the last 10 minutes. Even under Unai Emery, there's games where we've thrown away leads with 45 minutes to go. But you know what? Like, seeing us turn corners and get some of these results and like not freak out and like try to implement us over an opponent.
Yes,
it's just so great.
Yeah,
and you can see 100%. It happening when we outpass. Like when we played 9 Forest the other day, and we scored a goal, we had all 11 players on the field touch the ball in the pass build-up. That's the one where I think it was Bailey passes to Cash passes to Ramsey instead of shooting turns around, lays it off to Dougie Luiz. Dougie Luiz comes through and hit it. It was like a 15 pass move, 16 pass move. It hit every single player, every single person touched the ball. And I was like, what am I watching? We're like Barcelona. It was amazing.
And that's not for the first time. We've done that a couple of times already this season. You know, we if you look at the amount of time we're spending in our own box, I just had that statistic up. Like Aston Villa this season, positional statistics. We've spent 40% on the left side, 25% in the middle, and 35% on the right. But in our own third, we've spent almost 35% of the play has come in our own third. Middle of the pitch comes up to 50, but like
we want to sit deep and stretch opponents, bring them in, create space and one-on-one opportunities, and then play it through the big gaps. And
well, he's given us the confidence to do that. That's what Unai has done at this team that Jared just could not and would not have done. Is he has these players believing in their ability to do that, because I've played my whole life, right? And when I was confidence was down, and I didn't even want the ball at my feet. I just and then I'd have a couple of weeks or a couple of months where I'd be playing different levels, and I'd be like indoor and outdoor and 7s and 5s and 11s. And man, I'd be into everything. I'd be in the middle of the pitch. I'd be dribbling with the ball. I'd be like shrugging off tackles. It's just the mentality of the players right now, and everyone really looks confident. And I tell you where you can see the difference. Again, just because why not? It happened today. Anthony comes on to try and do something for this United.
God damn it! Stop talking about United.
I'm sorry. I have to, because
he's so down.
Man, he is so down. So down. Like every position, every movement.
It's almost sad for him now. I feel bad about talking about how bad Anthony is, because he is so depressed about it. He looks like Richarlison did last year.
He really does. And so there is argument, you know, a number of players take some time, you know. We have a classic left back, obviously Wilfried Baumer. was not a great success when he first arrived. I think a lot of Villa fans forget this. Was almost let go, wasn't doing well, and then he came into himself. So some players just need that. But Villa right now, just the way we're playing and the way that we're seeing our games, despite a little wobbler, and I'd like to see us kind of try to eliminate that, but top teams do that. City will go 1 or 2 down, and it's the desire to get back, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing. So yeah, brilliant point. Big boy Europe. I think we now, 2-3 weeks ago, I think you and I were conceding fourth. We were talking about it and saying we've lost even more players to injury. We just haven't got the depth, and we're on this bit of a losing streak. We're struggling. And next thing, United are picking up wins. Tottenham are picking up wins. Everyone's getting closer, and we're seeing ourselves slowly slip down. All of a sudden, a couple of weeks go by, as you said, we're winning games again. We're feeling good. Tottenham are slipping up. United are slipping up. So right now, we have a 5-point lead over Tottenham. Now, they do have a game in hand. It's worth noting at 26 to 27. United have a 11-point drop off us with the same amount. And this is exciting, and I'll let you talk to this point, because obviously the latest rumors right now would be based on who finishes where in what cup and who qualifies for where and yada, yada, yada. That opens up a 5th position, hopefully, for a Champions League spot for the Premier League. JP, do you think it's fair to say now that Villa are, dare we say, we're a top 4 favorite now?
We are actually statistically by Sky the top 4 favorite.
Wow.
We are 4th place favorites over Tottenham. Tottenham, our percentages were really close. We were only beating them by like 7 or 8%. Man U's top 4 is like 2%. They need like a 4-game swing because they're like 11 points and our goal differential is so much. It really is like 12 points. I do still worry about Tottenham.
Sure.
If we beat them this next weekend, though, I'm going to be a lot more confident because their run-in is very difficult. Their run-in includes a set of games in a row. This is in a row. It is Newcastle, City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. 4 of those in a row. Wow. It is City at home, Arsenal at home, Liverpool away, Newcastle away. But it's Newcastle, City, Arsenal, Liverpool. That is a hard stretch. And City, Arsenal, and Liverpool are all gunning for the title. They have to beat Tottenham to win that title. They have to. Yeah. So that's going to be difficult. And on the final day, if they are trying to get it on the final day, they play Chelsea.
Yes, and we play Crystal Palace. So
we play Crystal Palace on the final day. We still do have to play Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea and City.
Yeah.
We still have a very similar end run. But Chelsea's at home, and we're doing better at home. We still have Bournemouth, who are all over the place. We have West Ham, who are all over the place. We have Brighton, who's all over the place, and we have Palace, who's all over the place. I am confident we can. I'm 100% confident we can finish in the top 5. I am confident we can get top 4. Champions League would be huge. I would dance around naked.
And I would pay to see that. So that would be fantastic.
But I'm not a good dancer, so plenty of drinks.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
But the other thing for me is I think we should take Europe super seriously.
Well, we kind of have to. If there's anything to be believed right now, just even on from a financial
it's a lot more games.
Play,
it's like 8 to 10 more games.
Yeah.
But Ajax first, and then I think we're into the quarterfinals. And I think from there, we should be looking to try and win that tournament.
If we win that tournament, what does that mean? Do we get an automatic into Europa?
It's automatic into Europa. But here's the thing. Okay. Us going the hardest for this conference league and us getting to the final might open the extra spot for 5th spot for Champions League.
I see. Okay.
Because what we need is Brighton's still in it, if I'm not mistaken. West Ham's still in it. Liverpool's still in it, all in Europa. Chelsea and Arsenal are still in the Champions League. We want all the English teams to go as far as possible. We're in the
Liverpool not
Conference
in the
League.
Champions League?
No,
Liverpool in
Liverpool's in Europa.
Okay.
City and Arsenal are in the Champions League.
Champions League. Right.
We
Yeah,
want
they have. They've
those
got
two to go as far
spots.
as possible. And City look amazing. They look like they could win the Champions League again. Liverpool look amazing, and they are definitely trying to get stuff for Klopp. West Ham are doing well in Europe.
Very well.
And if we can, and if it's something like if all three of those, in all three of those competitions, an English team gets to the semis, it almost guarantees us the 5th spot.
Wow.
So
that would
we need to take Europe really seriously. We need to beat Ajax 3-4-5-0, solidify that win this week so that the away game we can take our foot off the gas a little bit, but that way we can move on to the next round. And we need to take care of Tottenham on the weekend. Those two, like beating Luton was huge, and then these 2 games back to back is like a 1 week huge deal.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think now is the time to take destiny into our own hands. I think we need to. We you've just gone through so many circumstances and conditions for us to unlock this bonus 5th place, and it would be great, and maybe it will happen. But we have the ability. We shouldn't be scared going forward. We've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten City, we've beaten Arsenal. We have, and we. We're a team that we're on a, what was it? It was a 12, 13 game winning streak.
Home win streak. We were at like 16.
Yeah. And so and then we just had a slight bump. We had a slight bump. We've course corrected. There's things that we're not as good at still. We still need to kind of get them a little bit more honed. But I think these last 2 games will have given us a good bit of confidence. Tottenham are going to come out hard. They've got Son back. They've got a lot of great players. They've got one of the best goalkeepers in the league right now. Like, they've got some really good players. So we need to bring our A game. But if I'm fully with you, if we get the win there, it's ours to lose. Yeah. It's ours to lose.
And if I'm not mistaken, Tottenham's at home for us.
I think so.
So that would be huge. And Tottenham haven't kept a clean sheet for like 15 games.
No.
So we can get at them and give them a run.
Yeah, it's home.
To me, it's a not lose game. If we draw, that's fine. If we win, that's even better. And hopefully with Pau Torres sitting this last game, I know he was taken off at halftime the game before, but hopefully him sitting this game allows him to play against Tottenham, because having the Pau, Longley, Konza setup would really help us. And Longley showed he can play the right center back.
Yeah.
So having those 3 guys with Moreno or Luka Dean would probably be the preferred defensive line. If he can make it the whole 90 and if he's looking good. And if not, and he can't make the whole 90, play him against Ajax, give him 45 minutes, let him tear him open, and get us a few goals early on.
Fully agree. Well, listen, I think that's really kind of that's it for the Villa boys right now. We're feeling good. A great result. Obviously, Villa 3, Luton 2. Fair play to Luton. It is going to be a shame to see them relegated. I don't see a way they survive at the moment, despite their best efforts. I think there's team, but though it's tight at the bottom of the table. It really is. But I just want to say it is exciting times. Mr. JP California getting married in under a month, or
it's getting over a month. Scary. It's right. It's just around a month. I'm trying to see what's the date. It is what day? What's the date today?
The 4th, or coming into the 4th.
Today's the 3rd. Just over a month.
Yes,
just over a month. So I'm getting nervous about that, but it's okay.
It'll be fine, baby.
There won't be any video next weekend because I'm going to be away.
That's good to know. I'll be on that deal, and I will be with you for that wedding. Looking forward to it, and hopefully, depending on my flight home, we might even get to watch a game together. Would you believe it's not on the weekend? It's on the Monday, the day that I'm going to fly home. It's in the 8th of April. Yeah.
Well, I got work that Monday after the wedding.
There you go. Sack it off.
We'll see. Maybe I will take it off.
JP, as ever, always love to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us, and thanks
Please
for
like and subscribe. Give us that love, all of you guys. We can't have Liam be the only guy. He is awesome, but we need some more Villa fans getting at us. Please give us the love, guys.
We do. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, boys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed our video. Obviously, a huge thank out to JP California and his beautiful John McGinn jersey at the back. Beautiful signed for. Love that. Well, JP, nothing more to say, but thank you for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again for another video. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa. Bye.
This is the North End.